Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you properly.
At the beginning, it was, I mean, it's been on and off. It's been, like waves of being inspired and actually using the time to like create a lot and paint a lot. And then it would go through waves of like, be difficult to like do stuff and um yeah, I had some hard times, like, I had some friends that passed away and things like that, so it's been, like, a kinda roller coaster of, like
Really?
yeah,
Sorry. So what happened?
um, they passed away, um, I don't know for sure if it's coronavirus or not, um, it wasn't tested, but, um, it was a respiratory thing, like, he couldn't breathe anymore.
I'm truly, truly, truly sorry. Unfortunately, a lot of us, we lost folks that we lost, and I'm really
Yeah.
glad that hopefully you're gonna be able. We never healed from it, but how you're gonna be able to keep going in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to like like use art kind of like as a vehicle to kind of like get through it and express it. Like we started like I painted a live painting at we did a memorial on Zoom for him. This was like a couple months ago, like 2 months ago. We did a memorial on Zoom because we couldn't meet in person and I painted something and then we used that painting to um, raise money for a foundation that we started in his name. So just trying to find like ways to make a really shitty situation into something a little bit
I
positive.
I do understand. I've been painting myself a lot during the quarantine time because of the losses. So I
Yeah.
I truly feel you. Actually, it's good.
Yeah, it kind of comes in waves, right? It's like sometimes you feel like creating, sometimes it's hard to um but it's good. I think if you're an artist or someone creative, it's like important to practice and keep doing it and
Yes.
yeah, a lot of times it gave me a lot of peace of mind. It gave me sometimes like a distraction, something to kind of like zone out on and not think about anything else I mean, I'm lucky. I had a lot of mural projects that got canceled because of coronavirus, but I was lucky enough that I have some commissions still that I'm working on. So I've been able to kind of like zone out and kind of work on those. Um, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't like outside of quarantine, I don't normally live paint and I have a hard time live painting just because my style, I do a lot of collage. For example, and it's really hard to do layers of collage and paint live because it needs time to like the glue to dry and it's a long process.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of started live painting again. Like I used to do that collage years ago, but I did it mostly because of this memorial and a lot of us were on this Zoom channel because of my friend because he created this thing called End of the Week, which is like an open mic.
Yes.
Um yeah. So he was one of the people that created End of the Week. So everybody around the world was on it and it offered, like just having a channel where we can all like connect with each other during this time is really comforting. And then it kind of grew into this whole like channel. Now we have like programming and there's like art segments and music segments and beat challenges and different things that um it kind of morphed into this whole thing. So it's been like really comforting and also been like a creative channel for everybody. So when I do like my live art segments, it's like everyone's been really excited about it and really um they love kind of like it's soothing, I guess, to watch, someone paint live.
Yes. And
Yeah, I think art is so important. I think it's really important for the artists themselves to be able to have an avenue to kind of like express a message or, paint something. And then it's also important for the viewer. I mean, art's kind of like a visual language, and so hard times like these, like, I think it's so crucial to have that avenue that people can connect still and feel something. Like a lot of people can't find the words sometimes to like express how they feel, but they can feel something through seeing a mural or seeing a painting or seeing some colors or like there's so much stress and trauma and anxiety right now. It's art and music is like any kind of form of art is just so important.
It is super important, and I truly agree with you. That's why I'm doing those interviews, and
Yeah.
because I really want people to understand and to realize, and tell me if you agree with me, that we also are essential workers. Because without us, people they would be like super depressed, like over depressed. So I'm not like putting any shadow on any other essential work, but we should be considered and and yeah, praised like the other essential workers, because first of all, every day we are in people's lives, and
Yeah.
actually more during that pandemic, like people they were doing a lot of art, but different type of art, like you painting, doing collage, some people drawing, some people singing, rapping, live DJ, dance class, camera, like like people still watch movies and TV shows and all of that. People are writing. So
Yeah.
I just feel that people they don't acknowledge us enough. They just think that, oh, we do that for the love of the art because it's the passion.
Yeah.
So what do you think about all of that?
I mean, yeah, I definitely advocate for that a lot. I sent out an email at the beginning of quarantine saying something very similar, that like uh art and music and film and these things are kind of like the soul of society, and they're necessary for like comfort and healing. And anytime that there's um hardships or war or um, anything difficult that a society goes through, there's always like new genres of music that come out of it. Like hip hop comes from that, jazz comes from that, things that just heal people. And there's a reason why like music and art is universal, like I think that uh, our country just doesn't sometimes take mental health as seriously as other things. And even stuff like in insurance, like mental health and therapy wasn't included in insurance. I
Yes,
think maybe this year might be, but like in the year 2020, mental health isn't considered like a essential. Like that's insane, and it's just as important to have the things that heal your mentality because you can't operate otherwise. And I think it's like um I just never understood, people getting rid of art programs and art in school and things like that because, like that ails people and it creates like avenues for people.
you have a great point. Like I like that. No, but seriously, I just love the fact that you were talking about mental health, because this is something serious, and
Hmm.
being sick is not just having something on physics that you can see physically, and people like yeah they really forget about taking care of their mental health, and art
Hmm.
is really helping a lot with that. So thank you for bringing that on the table. That's really good.
Yeah, sure. Um, I mean, if anything, I personally feel more so the importance of art through the quarantine. like I feel like I have a responsibility to create more and do like use that as a tool, because I really do like when I post stuff and people repost my murals and stuff, and I mean it's amazing that how people can still connect and feel better through art. So since quarantine, I've almost felt like a responsibility to like do it and try to step away from social media a little bit and try to be more in my studio. So I mean, up until I broke my foot, I've been pretty much in the studio every day, like painting and creating and kind of like just getting really inspired by like all the roller coaster emotions that everyone is going through, you know, like seeing people post and being like upset and sad and going through loss, and you know, there's just so much to process. And I mean, for myself and for others, I just feel like it's more important to do art and music and stuff like that now.
That is
You
true.
know.
That is very true. And do you have any idea of how we, us, all the artists, like, even if like each feels very specific and different, but you know, how can we, if I can say, fight for like a better recognition? Because once again, my point is really the fact that we are appreciated as artists for uh, sharing their love and passion with the world. But
Hmm.
when it's time to like really support, you know, like financially, even like
Yeah.
institutions, like like you know, like this is like a very small example. When you go to the restaurant or you go to the hair salon or the nail salon, you know, you're giving a tip. And artists, you know, like if an artist, like even if he or she's doing something for free or teaching a class, people, they just say what they have to say and they never think about saying, you know,
Yeah.
for something.
Yeah, I struggle with that a lot. You know, because I mean, even for myself, like I used to work full time like at a marketing agency and at an event agency. Um and then I did art on the side, and then once the art started picking up, I switched to freelance, and I'm a full-time artist at this point, but I struggle with like um you know, like when you work at an agency, you understand kind of like that, you know, you have contracts and stuff when you book DJs, you have contracts and stuff when you book
Mm-hmm.
creative directors and designers and illustrators and all the different people and skill sets for a project. And with art, I try to be as vocal and as what's the word, like just I think educational, because I think there's like a mindset and a mentality that you can't make art in a meaningful way and also make money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and people just assume that somehow artists are supposed to be starving artists, and I deeply don't believe that. You know, like everyone creative should be able to make a good career and be able to live off of that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think,
I agree.
yeah, I think I mean, of course, things get exploited the way everything gets exploited, but I think if artists are like true with their like intentions and their message, and their artists, you know, like do art for what their message is, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a full living and getting paid. And I think I don't know the best way to do it, but I think, you know, like I didn't go to art school, for example, but from what I heard in art school, they don't really teach you about like charging rates and the money behind art and the business behind art, and like uh there's just like a lack of education and information about ways to like sell your art and what rates they should be. And um like I kind of figured it out when I started doing murals, like kind of like a rate system and how to charge. But it's very, like, since art is so subjective, it's very difficult to have like a standard, like, way to think about it.
I
um yeah.
I do agree. It's really hard, and and more valuable your art is, and the art scene, more you can charge and all of that. But like, what would be like the lowest standard according to the effort that you're putting in your work, um,
Hmm.
supplies that you're buying, and all of that. I do understand the struggle. Really hard. And
Yeah, I mean, maybe it can start with, in school they have courses more that teach that, um or I don't know. I mean, it's a really good question, and something I think about a lot. I don't personally know, like, the best way to, like, make changes in it. I mean, the most artists can do really is just educate the people that are interested in their art, you know? Like, I have people that always ask me, like, "Oh, can you do this mural?" And I'm like, "Okay, it'll cost this amount and this amount for the supplies and stuff." And they're like, "Oh, but can you do it for free?" And instead of just saying like yes or saying no, I kind of try my best to explain and just educate, like, it'll take me this amount of hours and this amount of days and this amount of my time, and materials cost this, and, like, you're asking me to do it because you like my personal art, which means nobody else can. It's irreplaceable. So once you start, like, explaining, like, why your value is what it is, then people kind of understand it more, and keep that information with them, for the next time they work with artists or whatever.
yes, yes. I like the fact that like you broke down the cost because as you know, I'm an artist as well. I also do graphic design, and I remember when I started doing freelance graphic design, I so like when people they needed something, I gave my rate, and of course people they would say no, and I was like a very beginner on business and all of that. So
Mhm.
I was like just giving the price, and then people are like, oh no, it's too much, or they will always say that. So then I always like try to lower my rate, which was wrong. And at some point I was just saying no, 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 because sometimes people they're like, yeah, but it's not gonna take too long and you just have to click here and there to do that. So
Yeah.
as you said, and a friend of mine suggested me to educate people about why is my rate this amount of money. So when
Mhm.
you say that, as you said, it's going to take you time, energy, supplies, and this and that, then they more or less understand.
Yeah. And I think it's everyone that's a creative person, and even it translates to music or dance or anything. It's like, I think everybody goes through that struggle, of trying to figure out, like, doing stuff for free, not doing stuff for free. How much do I charge? What is my value? Like, what does it? Like, it's difficult to assert yourself sometimes when it's something that comes out of, like, emotion versus, like, math. you know so it's, like, difficult to put a price on it. you know um but yeah, like, I've learned for myself that the more I do it and the more I put my foot down and kind of stick with my gut feeling on how much something should cost, like, the more somebody it shows more someone that appreciates it will pay it you know So, yeah, I mean, I'd love to figure out if there's, like, a platform or an organization that already kind of does that and helps kind of, like, I mean, I know artists have managers sometimes, or agents, or people that kind of, like, negotiate for them. Um, but I'd love to see if there's, like, an organization or something that kind of, like, educates artists to do it for themselves. you know? It's a good question. I personally am trying to navigate it. I don't know if there's a rule book per se, but I'm just trying to be as open-minded, open-hearted, just show compassion, and just trying to offer um, support any way I can. I think, um, it's something I've been thinking about the last couple of days of like, how can I help do more than sign a petition or donate money or share information, like, and I think all those things are extremely important, and I'm trying to do that as much as possible, but I think it's also trying, I've been thinking like, okay, but I'm an artist, like, what is there a way that I can use that to push messages further? And over the last few days I've been like reaching out to organizations just to see if there's a way I can help, um and I mean, if there's more things I can do, I would love to. um
You're doing enough. Not like you're doing a lot already. It's not as
yeah,
anything.
yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think it's important to just like be self-aware and be just like aware of the things that you post and acknowledge and things like that, and just aware of the people that follow you, and just try to, yeah, support communities as much as possible. And yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great what you're doing. I think it's really important, and there has to be like a shift in that mindset.
yes,
um and like something I struggle with too is like, people always look for artists to like donate to causes and like do live art for free, donate, art auctions for free, like do all these things for free. um and it became very clear to me during the pandemic that not that many people were looking to do that back for artists, or even were thinking about, like, as a freelance artist, like, you don't work for a company, you don't get like,
yes,
there's not like health medical like health insurance for that, like, I mean, I'm still researching myself and trying to figure out ways to like set myself up in that way, but um yeah, I think it's good that you're doing this, because like the pandemic and stuff makes it really clear that like artists just don't have that type of support behind them, and it would be really great for people to feel like they want to auction things off and do grants and things for artists too, and not just it be one way when people need something, which I mean, I think it's beautiful, and it's great to offer art when you can and help causes when you can,
yeah.
but
Like it's great to offer, as you said, but it's also great for us not just to survive, but to live decently. And we cannot just give away our work just for the glory or something when we need to live decently. Like just
mhm.
let's not talk about fancy, but just like having an apartment, paying your rent, paying your bills, paying your food, being able to take the transportation, or if you have a car or whatever you're having, uh,
Yeah.
you know, getting dressed because you're not like it's not because you're an artist that you have to get dressed like crap or whatever.
Yeah.
Supplies to buy. Supplies are
Yeah.
expensive, and
Yeah.
and on the top of that, we have to give everything away for free just because we are artists, and people they might have this idea of artists like an artist is supposed to be poor and miserable and to suffer.
The tortured artist.
Yeah, hell no. And then you're gonna sell. artists art for millions once they die. Seriously, this is not a
Right.
goal.
Right.
So I'm really hoping um, people are going to hear us, individuals, but also corporations, organizations. We never know. Especially, like they want to cut off the artistic budget with the government and stuff like that. Or
Mm-hmm.
been, I think you applied for some grants, like emergency funds and all of that. They ask for like a lot of paperwork, way too much, like because
And they don't even give that much money. It's like I've applied for artist grants during this, and it's like $500, $1,000. Like that's not that much.
exactly, that's not that much, and they are asking so much paperwork. But what about this artist who is trying to make it out there and who's just started and then they ask for so many paperwork? You're like, this is not possible, this is not okay. You have some, they don't ask for many things, but as you said, they give you 500. It's not, it's something, but it's still not enough to survive.
Yeah.
In New York, it's not gonna do that.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, definitely keep me posted on, how your project evolves and um yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and
Yeah.
be okay soon with your food.
I'm sorry.
I said I hope you're gonna be able to be okay soon with your food.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I want to get back to doing murals and stuff soon.
I will stay safe, stay healthy, and stay beautiful.
Thank you. You too. And thanks for inviting me to do this.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.